Hi and welcome to the week 4 recap video of my winter speed challenge with my aim to get to PGA Tour speed. Before I start my recap this week, I want to offer you guys a practical tip that could actually increase your distance without you putting any more effort into your golf swing or having to make significant swing changes. Tee height is something that's usually quite overlooked by a number of golfers. They're either not sure how high to tee up the ball, or routinely they may just tee it too low. And that's what we're going to look at today. So with the correct tee height, that's going to give us the ability to maximize launch, minimize spin, and actually create more controlled shots that actually travel further without us having to put any more effort into our golf swings. It sounds like a win to me. So obviously the driver is one of the least lofted clubs that we have in our bag, and that obviously means that it's designed to hit the ball forward and a long way, but we do actually need to get a relevant amount of launch and be able to control the spin to be able to maximize the distance that we're gaining. And if we can't do that, then we're losing distance purely out of not striking the ball correctly, which could ultimately boil down to teeing the ball up at the correct height. Right, so let's head outside and we'll have a look at the balls teed up in both different ways. We'll also hit a driver shot with each, and we'll have a look at the data that produces from the launch monitor. Okay, so let's have a look at everything in what I would consider to be the correct tee height for a driver. You can see from this zoomed in image that the ball is sitting slightly above the crown of the driver, and I like to make sure that I do have it teed up nice and high. Obviously you can see my ball position is nice and forward, and you can actually see that it looks as if I'm slightly with my upper body and hips tilted slightly backwards. Now that's again going to allow for this slightly upward sweeping motion because we've got the ball raised up so high on the tee. So if you now have a look, I'll just run through the swing here so you can see the swing, and then if we have a look at the shot and check out the data, we can see that we've got a carry distance of 262.6 yards off of a club head speed of 108.8 and a ball speed of 161.8. Now the spin I created on this shot of 2658 is slightly higher than I would expect. I tend to sit around the 2400 to 2500 range, which allows me to keep control of the golf ball. But you'll also see that my angle of attack is positive 2.7 degrees. So that basically means that I'm hitting up on the golf ball, and that's giving me a vertical launch number of 11.9. So although my driver only has 8 degrees of loft on it, the actual ball is taking off at around about 12 degrees. And I want to keep an idea and a look on how high that ball is up in the air, how high above the tree level it actually is on the simulator and up in the sky. So the combination of the club head speed, the spin and the launch is what's allowing me to maximize that 161.8 ball speed and gain the 262.6 yards carry on this shot. So as we now move on to a ball that's teed slightly lower, as you can see from the image here where the ball is certainly not sitting anywhere near above the driver and is sitting more at face level, what you can see is that that's going to actually change how I feel I have to set up to the golf ball. You'll see that it doesn't look like I'm now trying to hit the ball with this sweeping upward motion, and that's just purely because of the way that I know the ball is sitting on the tee, and I know if I do try and sweep it, I'm probably just going to top it or I'm going to hit an absolutely terrible golf shot. So that's going to then impact how we're going to hit the shot. So let's hit the shot. So as you can see from this launch monitor shot, I swung at 108.5, which is very similar to what I swung with the higher tee. You can actually see that in this shot, I actually created slightly more ball speed by about half a mile to a mile an hour than my high teed shot. And you can see the spin was actually tiny little bit lower, but is round about the mark that I would expect it to be. The key factors that you can see here are that my angle of attack, whereas it was up by about 2.7 on the last shot, you can see with the ball being teed down, I've had to get my angle of attack into the minuses, which is minus 2.2. So I'm now hitting down on that golf ball. Now, what that's then doing is that's causing me an absolutely horrendous vertical launch. You can see that 6.2 degrees. That's half of what I was hitting with the ball teed up correctly. So you can see that even though I've created the same club head speed and approximately the same ball speed, the way that I've had to attack the ball means that the carry distance has gone down from 262 yards when I was teeing the ball up properly to 240.3 yards. So you can see I've lost 22 yards in carry distance, although my speeds were practically the same on both swings. And you can clearly see against the original shot that we hit, where my red tracer line was clearly going up above tree level and into the sky, how this line, the blue one, now stays very much below the tree level. So you can see that they're basically the way that we tee the ball up then obviously changes the way we attack the golf ball. And if we attack the golf ball in the correct manner, we're then able to maximize the distance from the speed that we have. So ultimately, I can gain 20 yards in distance without swinging it any faster or any better, just purely because I've got the ball teed up at a decent level that allows me to make the maximum of what I have available to me. So there you go. There's a clear benefit to making sure you get that ball teed up nice and high and swinging in the correct way to actually maximize the driver and maximize the distance that your swing speed can handle. Now, obviously, if you're naturally teeing the ball down low, when you start to tee it up high, you'll find it may be a little bit weird and a little bit difficult to get the right angle of attack into the ball. You can actually practice this quite easily without actually hitting a golf ball. What you need to do is just pop the tee in the ground, make sure it's nice and high, and then the whole aim that you're going to go for is to be able to brush or clip the top of that tee. So you're not going to be hitting it massively, you're just literally going to be brushing the top of it. That will in turn teach you how to get this slightly upward swing onto the golf shot, which will again help to increase the launch, manage the spin, and maximize the distance that you're hitting it. So if you're going to try adjusting your tee height, then leave a comment down below. And if you do and you have success, then come back and make sure you post that there so as everybody can see. It's a really good time now to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's free to do. It really helps me a lot and allows me to continue to keep producing content that is going to help you and any other golfer. Right, let's get on with the weekly update. So we'll touch on my workout sessions first of all. My first workout session was quite good. My second one was a real struggle, but I battled through it. I don't know why, I just didn't really feel I had that much energy, but I managed to complete the session. After my first session and when I woke up the following morning, I had a little bit of pain in the middle of my back around my shoulder blade. It appeared to be a standard muscle problem, and a little bit of heat, a little bit of massage and a little bit of painkillers actually helped. And weirdly enough, it didn't really affect me swinging the golf club. That obviously eased off and we were all good. I think subconsciously for my first speed training session, I was still a little bit uncomfortable about the problem that I'd had with the muscle in my shoulder, and whether that impacted what I was doing or not, although I couldn't really feel any pain or any problems while I was swinging. I only just about managed to hit the 100-mile-an-hour mark, as you can see. Now again, we know that's my minimum, but it has become a little bit of a frustrating point to me that that baseline isn't moving up and my minimum becoming perhaps 101 at least. My second speed training session was good. As you gradually come towards the end of a protocol, you'll find that the intensity of the work being asked of you gradually just drops down for the last few sessions. Now, whether this had any impact on me, but I was obviously feeling really good on this day. And as you can see, at the 195, I had 3 swings at 103. And all of my swings at the 195 grams were 100 miles an hour or over. So this gave me a total of 103 during this session. Now that's the second best speed that I've actually managed with the stack system. I've had 104 in one session and I've had a couple of 103s in previous sessions. So I was really pleased with this and really felt quite positive about this. Obviously, as you can see from the data, 103 miles an hour with the stack system at 195 grams is equating to 114 miles an hour in club head speed with a driver. Now that's the area that we really need to be looking to get to. If I can get to around about 114 miles an hour to make a proper normal golf swing that is playable on the golf course, and I can strike the ball solidly, that will get me to 167 mile an hour or plus for ball speed, which is the ultimate goal here. My third and final session of the week was uneventful. I just about hit 100 miles an hour, as you can see. I didn't feel particularly great. I'd hit quite a lot of aggressive swings before I started the session, and I think I was just a little bit on the tired side when I came to it. So a funny week. I've had a really good high of having that 103 session, which is really where I want to start to be moving towards. And then the other two sessions, I've only just about managed to maintain the 100 miles an hour. My sleep and energy generally through the week have been reasonably good. And if you're interested in the device that I'm using for tracking that data, then stick tracking down in the comments and we'll have a look at it in a bit more detail. My golf wasn't bad this week. Had a couple of decent rounds, but I just had one or two more bogeys than I would like and not enough birdies to counteract that. So pretty reasonable without being spectacular, and certainly no albatross like I had last week. So that's it for this week's recap. I hope the tee height tip, if you take it on board, actually helps you to gain some visible distance. And if you are a person that tees the ball down too low and you do move it up, I would firmly expect that you would see some gains without doing anything else at all. I now only have one more session left in this protocol. And as mentioned before, I then have to do my progress check. So in the next video, I'll be discussing my one training session, and then I'll be showing you the progress check, just again so as you can see how the stack system actually functions in a little bit more detail. So obviously that's something to look forward to, and we can see where my progress is, and then obviously what the system is going to set me for the next set. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and check out this video that the big brains at YouTube think you'll enjoy. My name's Graham, and I'll catch you on the course soon.